Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. You guys, we had a long night last night. Extremely long night. Extremely long night last night. It was lovely. For those who didn't join me on TikTok afterwards, we were live for nearly 7 hours straight. And then to assert our dominance as a community, y'all went ahead and got me to 2 million likes. I'm not even joking, literally 2 million. Crazy. It was fun. It was really, really nice being able to do that with you guys. I loved it. So much fun. So much fun. Oh my gosh, you feel like I kicked your butt? Yeah, there's a lot of corrective energetic work that I did for you last night. All right, let's get started. So I asked what this conversation was going to be about, and what I heard, what happens next will blow your mind. So there's something that's going to be happening. There is a shift, a change. It's up to us what we want to do with that. Okay. This is something your soul is just pushing forward. So banishment in reverse. This is telling me that something you thought you shouldn't have, something that you walked away from, or something that walked away from you is circling back around. This could be an opportunity. It could be a person. I'm not too sure. But something from the past, something that was pushed away, something that was kept separate from you, it is coming back around. It is circling back around. And this is to cleanse whatever happened. I'm wondering if there was third-party involvement, maybe not a relationship, but maybe just like a meddling ass person. I'm serious. Maybe there was a person that was like just talking far too much, far too much. And all of their opinions that are irrelevant affected whatever the circumstance is between you and another person from your past. I'm not sure. But there's an attempt to come out of incubation. There's an attempt to come out of the shell. This is something that you're not initiating, okay? You're not initiating it, and you're definitely not going to be able to avoid this. This is a circumstance that needs to happen. And before we start assuming anything about romance, don't. Yeah, no, don't just start assuming something about romance. I think this might be a soul-based connection. This might be a person you haven't been romantic with. This might be like a former friend. It might be just a former acquaintance, former coworker, former neighbor. It could really be anyone. Don't be so quick to be like, oh my gosh, it's my ex. Is it? Hold on. Mercury retrograde, August 2025 is August 11th. Mercury retrograde will be over. So we're in retrograde right now. Listen, don't let that X back in. I'm just saying. We're in retrograde right now. In 2 days, it will be over. Makes some kind of sense. Foundation and guardian. I think what's happening during this period is your soul is creating the foundation from which a whole bunch of other really amazing things are about to happen for you. I have just such a good feeling for this point forward. Such a good feeling. It feels like all of these things that you've dreamt of and worked so hard to try and set the stage for. It's about to happen. It's like, it's right there. It's right there. Hi, Jenna. It's right there. So, what is it that needs to happen? Well, you're not going to have something to rely on, first and foremost. This is something you're going to have to kind of push through yourself. Ooh, also secondary message. This thing that your soul wants you to do, wants you to push forward, you're not going to be kissing another frog. This is not like all the other times when the circumstance was nothing but a frog. You kiss the frog. Not this time. This time it's the real thing. But again, I don't know if it's a person or something else. I don't feel like it's necessarily an ex. The sun dancers, joyful activity, celebration of life, abundance. Okay, so you're entering into the sun dancer space, right? Where you have joyful activity, celebration of life and abundance, and then something's trying to suck you back down. It's trying to suck you back down. Hungry ghosts, obsession, scarcity consciousness, and attachment. You know, you should bring a wooden spoon with you everywhere you go. Totally serious. You could like supercharge the wood of that spoon and use it to just like you should not allow this. Something is going to try really hard to try and bring you down. Don't let that happen. Listen. It does not matter what people think, say, or do. It does not matter what their intentions are. Those things only begin to increase in importance when you give it importance. It doesn't matter. Keep focused on what you want to actually bring to fruition. And some of you might be like, well, you don't understand, Emmy. No, I understand more than you realize. Do you know how many times different people have tried to cyber bully me? Me of all people, you try to cyber bully me. Okay. That cracks me up. But I'm serious. Do you know how many people have tried to cyber bully me? What has that done? Nothing beyond getting me to double down on what I am committing myself to. You have to get to a point where you are actually in control of your journey and other people don't get access to your triggers. Other people don't get to start pushing your buttons and commanding you like a robot that's being reprogrammed. If you allow yourself to recognize your power over your journey, I'm telling you, the most amazing potentiality becomes part of your reality. The most amazing potentiality becomes a part of your reality. You have shrunk yourself down. You have convinced yourself you're not a big deal. You have convinced yourself that all of these things that people say are important are the most important when you don't even care about that. You don't even like it. You're just trying to fit in. You need to accept that for some of us, we're never meant to fit in. And once you embrace that, once you embrace the fact that you were created in the way that you're created, and it is what it is. Sometimes what happens is an entire community forms around you. You become, what would I call it? You're no longer just the thermometer, you're the thermostat. But I wouldn't even stop at being a thermostat. I would continue until I realize I'm the entire compound. Fuck house. Fuck mansion. I want a full-blown compound. I'm serious. I want a full-blown compound. I don't want any more limitations. I don't want to allow myself to participate and believe in limitations that other people believe I should believe in. Because really, the only limits that are true for you are the ones that you wholeheartedly believe in. Those are the only limits. No, that's not true. I mean, it absolutely is true because this is what I've lived. Now, just because it's true doesn't mean you have to believe it. And if you don't believe that, then you're probably going to believe the opposite of that, which is what? That there are limits. That limits apply to everyone. Rules apply to everyone. Not true. Not true. I'm not talking about the people who think that they can just be doing whatever the heck they want and you have to be okay with it. They can do whatever they want, but you don't have to be okay with it. See, that's the beauty of it. I can act however the way I want. I can say what I want. I could be as triggering and offensive and as blunt as I want. Yeah, you can't stop me. Just like I can't stop you from having the reaction or response to my ugly behavior that you're going to have. That's the beauty of it. No one is bound to anything. So what happens next? It's highly contingent on you. Transformation, intuition, and patience, but it's in reverse. So what does that mean? Hi, Kim. What does that mean? Let me see. You changed your sometimes seen. Oh my God, that's huge. You guys. Last night I was live and I went to go scan someone and I don't know what happened. I don't remember. But I ended up clicking, her name is Kim. I ended up clicking on her profile and I think the profile name was Invisible Since Birth. And that just hurt my heart so deeply. So deeply. And I requested that the screen name be changed to at least Sometimes Seen, because of all the people that were on the live stream last night, they were the one that I chose to do a scan for. So clearly they're not invisible. And they changed their name to Sometimes Seen. I love that. I love that. Okay, so I better hurry up because I have to get to the sanctuary. Communication, praise, and dishonesty, but it's in reverse. There was something that needed to be communicated, but it was done in a dishonest way. And that's what caused a lot of the breakdown in that circumstance involving you and another person. Again, let's be careful about automatically assuming that this is something about romance. You have to be careful about your words. Like you have to select the words intentionally for this circumstance. I'm wondering if you have to select your words carefully because this circumstance is a very important one for your development. It's something that's going to show you, at least introduce you to the gravity of you. It feels important. It feels like lives are about to change. It feels like whatever potentiality that was kind of skipped some time ago because of fear, avoidance, whatever else it is. It feels like that's being corrected. There's a lot of correction that's happening. And this correction, again, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to enter into a romantic relationship with someone. Maybe the correction merely is to give closure. I mean, I don't know. The High Lady of love and compassion, reverence, kindness, and consideration. You need to apply this to yourself as well as to this circumstance. Whatever or whoever it is that you're just absolutely hell-bent on never speaking to. Like, do you think about them a lot? I think you do. Hi, Pinsan. I think you do. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I have an idea of one person that I'm talking to. Yeah. I don't whatever. Let's carry forward. No, this is someone that just like It's almost like they can't move forward in their journey. It's almost like they consistently check back in. They circle back around and they check back in, but they never really make their presence known. But you feel it. You feel the disturbance in the force. You do. You feel it. And then you convince yourself, like, no, it can't be that. I don't know. It might be. It might be just that. The prison wave, self-sabotage, poverty, consciousness. Do y'all need to be, do you need your third eye cleared? Do y'all need your third eye cleared? Let me not yell at everyone. Seriously, do you need your third eye cleared? I can clear that for you right now. Right now. Do you want it cleared? Because what? Self-sabotage and poverty consciousness. You do, Tuani? Okay. There you go. Cleared. I love you, Tuani. Jackie too. Day Love Star as well. There. Everyone, you guys get a clearing. You get a clearing. You get another clearing. Everyone's third eyes are now clear. Stop. Stop doing that to yourself. It doesn't prove anything to anyone when you allow yourself to self-sabotage. It doesn't prove anything to anyone. You know, when I was young, I had this thing where, like, if you make me mad, I won't eat. Yeah. Like, say I want a different type of food. And you know, my parents were traditional Filipinos. They don't give a shit. They're like, starve. Shit, the food's gonna be on the stove. And then I never told them that I didn't eat. I was just like, yeah, you want me to starve? Okay, then I'll starve. What did that do? What did that do? Nothing. It didn't do anything. So what did I learn to do? Take care of myself and my needs. I learned, and this is the reality of it, I learned to marry a man who will take care of me like that. True story. I didn't know that's why I married him, but you know, that's how it turned out. One more time. Okay. A little bit harder, Lisa. Bam, bam, bam. Clear that third eye. You okay? Let me know if it bruised, okay? All right. You okay, Lisa? Breathe. Breathe. I think that third one was a little excessive. You guys, no more self-sabotage, no more any of that. Speak up, make your needs known. Now, just because you speak up does not mean people will honor your needs. People will listen to you and uphold what it is you ask them for. It doesn't mean that, but it's a good practice to be able to speak clearly and also with authority over yourself. It's a very good practice to do that. Why? I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I live in a space of peace. And because I practice that, I'm able to sustain my peace. I don't just allow anything in. I don't just allow anything in, right? You have to make sure that you're listening to what it is you need, because what happens next, it's going to require you to be able to speak up. It's absolutely going to require you to be able to say something with authority over yourself, not necessarily authority over the entire circumstance and someone else. Okay. See, we didn't eat dinner together when I was a kid. We were what are they called? Like a bedroom family, meaning everyone just ate in their own rooms. Everyone had their own TV and no one really went into the living room. So I have the opposite of that. We always all piled up in one space. The Hawk Prince, spirit, communication, paying attention. It was in reverse. Your soul is telling you something. Let's explore this. Your soul is telling you something. I'm all excited for some reason. I don't know what cards to use. Hold on. Here, this one. Okay, no. This one. Your soul is telling you something. So, oh, I never posted it on my website. One final deck. The Oracle. That's my deck. This is my deck. See, I mean, Nicolina. This is my deck. There's one final one. Okay. The I'm Giving Up on You song with Christina Aguilera. Say something, I'm giving up on you. Go ahead. Sorry, that's my response. Go ahead. That's fine. You want to give up on me? That's fine. I'm all triggered. Okay. What's your soul trying to tell you? So you're fighting the change. You're still just calling you out on all your caca today. That's okay. Caca is the fertilizer. Yeah, it's the fertilizer. So there's change, but you're fighting it because you're judging yourself. Rather than using discernment, you're using condemnation. You've become far too comfortable. Like you've become far too comfortable being all condemning to the self. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to hit you again. Okay. Simultaneous. Stop doing that to yourself. You're starting to piss me off. True story. Stop doing that to yourself. All of these thoughts that you're having about how you're such a bad person, you're trying to shake you. You're not a bad person. I would say the more accurate thing to say is that you're not a perfect person, but perfection as defined in the dictionary and defined by modern society does not exist. It does not exist. See, I've worked with over 13,000 people since 2016. Over 13,000, okay? One-on-one type thing. Like I'm a workaholic. So I've worked with over 13,000 people. What I have found observing everyone that I've worked with, the best people, the most loving, most kind, quality people are the ones that beat themselves up so much. Like, oh, I'm a bad person. Oh, it's my karma. Oh, I deserve this. This is what I get. Yada, yada, da, 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 da. And then it's the like, and I don't get too many people like this. I would say less than 20 out of like 13,000. I would say maybe less than 20, right? I'm thinking more closer to like 10. The really shitty people. Not once do I ever hear them audit themselves. Like, should I have done that? Am I a bad person? It's always this externalized projection. It's always accusatory. And for those of you who have had private sessions with me and you're like, am I one of those? Baby boo, you would know for a fact because I would say it to your face. I don't play. I would say something to your face like, do you notice a pattern? How you're at the center, you're at the epicenter, you're the one initiating things. Do you ever notice how you act and the way your behavior affects your environment? You've never noticed that? Because, like, really, the session is done. I'm not scared to do that. I'm not scared to be like, you know what? You have no interest in me helping you to gain clarity on why certain things have happened in your life the way they have. You have zero interest, zero capacity to take accountability. Waste of time. I'm done. I'm done. Y'all, people don't realize how many businesses I run because I'm over here giggling with y'all, which I love to. I love to. People don't realize how busy I actually am and how much work is piled and piled and piled on top of other work. So I don't let people waste my time. I don't let circumstance waste my time. Why? Because my energy is precious. Because I think I'm better than you? Absolutely not. I think I'm better than the version of myself that would allow myself to martyr myself to prove that I deserve to exist. Baby boo. God co-signed you into existence. You don't need anyone else's permission. You just don't. Hey, Carlos. It's been forever. I love when my community, like they've been gone for a while, and then they come back and I see them comment. It makes me feel happy. It does. It makes me feel happy. So metamorphosis. You're going through this change and you're right here in the chrysalis, right? You're in this chrysalis, and what's happening is you're going through the process of breaking out of it. That there's a lot of pressure when that happens. I've said this before in live streams. Everyone talks about the butterfly, how beautiful it is, how it's, this amazing representation of metamorphosis, of change and transmutation. But no one ever asks, how did the butterfly feel going through that? How did the butterfly experience life as a caterpillar, and then life inside a chrysalis, and then life as it exited out of it? I would imagine that would be a very painful, very scary type of experience. The caterpillar has no idea and has no say in what's going to happen next. And it gets confined. It goes ahead and it creates a barrier between itself and the world around it. You won't recognize yourself by the end of this month. Okay. We're getting some messages from Tarot. Let me clarify this. Tarot probably doesn't even know I exist. Well, they probably do. They follow me on Instagram. But we don't have private conversations. I probably should message, but we don't. I'm talking about their notifications for their videos. This is probably the only tarot card person that I'm subscribed to, but I don't know. It's the only one I get notifications from. Okay, so it says, Pisces, you won't recognize yourself by the end of this month. This rare energy won't happen again. You're way closer than you think. Okay. Ooh, and then another notification came in. It says, said it, not signed it. Ooh. Verbal agreements are legally binding on a soul level as well. They're legally binding in certain states and on a soul level as well. Ooh, Lord. Yep. Quantum wave mechanics. Okay. That caterpillar had no idea that it was going to go through what it went through. It had no idea what was next. It isolated itself physically. After it isolated itself, it kind of disintegrated. I would love someone to kind of do an experiment, but this is kind of mean, where they create a false chrysalis. So we can actually see what happens to did someone do that already? Look inside chrysalis as caterpillar grows. Oh. Okay. Someone did. I'm going to have to watch that. I'm definitely going to have to watch that. So what happens? Do they actually dissolve. They molt for silk moths. Okay, this is too much. I gotta stop. I don't have time. We gotta hurry up. So no one ever asked the caterpillar whether it wanted to, right? No one asked the caterpillar what it felt like. And when that caterpillar emerges as its next version of itself, as a butterfly, it can never go back to caterpillar status. When it becomes a butterfly, it speaks a different language and lives a different way. So the butterflies can't go back and tell the caterpillars, don't worry, it's going to be okay. We become ridiculously beautiful and ridiculously free. We no longer have to stay on the same plant. We can travel. We can visit different flowers. The caterpillars don't know. Maybe you're still in that caterpillar state. You don't know yet what comes next. There will be a lot of caterpillars who will try to pretend that they, in fact, are butterflies. No, you consumer, just keep chomping on that leaf and hush your fuss. Stop messing with people's journeys. You've got the time. Let's make some magic. I just got another notification. You've got the time. Let's make some magic. Make it happen. Stop listening to the people who are caterpillars with fake wings taped to their backs. These are the people that speak so much as though there's some type of authority over yourself. They know more than you. Let me tell you this. I know so much, but I will never know more than you about your own journey, your life, your trajectory, your potentiality, and what you've lived through. Like, fuck out of here with that guru shit. Trust yourself. You're going through the things you need to go through to build that trust in yourself. We need to be done with this hierarchy in spiritual spaces. We need to be done with it, because you know what happens? The people who want to climb to the top of this spiritual ladder are the fucking spiritual narcissists. They're the insecure, broken people of the world that need you and 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 everyone they can possibly harvest to convince them that they have some type of value, and they don't give a shit how their insecurities affect you, how their projected insecurities that they're trying to say is their, soul messages, soul download. They don't care how it affects you. And then they've learned to regurgitate these words of, but don't listen to me, I don't know. They want you to think they know. I literally know a lot for myself and my journey. A lot. For other people's journey, I mean, I can share what I've been through, and then you would have to figure out how that applies to you. What part of what I share about my journey can help to kind of give you clarity. I mean, that's not for me to decide. Galactic heritage. It's a lot of past life stuff coming forward. This 8/8 portal that just happened, and it's still open. 3 more days, and then it will start to atrophy and constrict. This 8/8 portal, it's something that is allowing for tremendous, tremendous potentiality to come through. Tremendous potentiality to come through. What's that potentiality going to do? It's going to help you discover what direction you need to go. No one else can dictate that for you. Like, even for, say, my soul-based business mentorship, because that's something that I do. I'm able to hear what your soul is trying to tell you. And I'm simply giving you what your soul is saying. I'm not trying to determine for you what I believe you should do. Your soul is guiding you. It's directing you. Allow more of that. Allow more of that. Clarifier. You're not going to get the clarity you're seeking until you're deep in that process. You're not. Why? Well, because part of your process is an exercise in gaining the trust between the self and the soul. That means you need to be able to feel deeply and wholeheartedly that when your soul gives you instruction, it's never to hurt you or harm you. It's always going to be something that maybe you don't understand, but at the end of it, wow. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. This is beautiful. I'm growing. I'm healing. I'm expanding in my awareness. That's important. That's important. You guys notice that for the most part, I really don't call in any aliens. I don't call in any angels. I don't call in anything. And some of you might be like, well, you use cards. Yeah, to focus my ADHD, hence the ClairTarot, because I'm not actually doing tarot. I'm communicating messages from my soul. Nothing else, no one else. I don't work with others. I don't work with others. And I'm able to do that and be fortified in that because I've allowed myself to develop the relationship between the self and the soul. It's not an easy thing to develop. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear, anxiety. Like, what if I'm wrong? What if I misheard that? What if I misunderstood? You begin to realize after you're in the process just how accurate you actually are. Many of us are beyond gifted. We don't realize it. We don't realize how capable we are, how well prepared we actually are entering into this life. We don't realize that. Why? Because we're so busy trying to be like someone else. We're so busy trying to fit in. You know, when I first became publicly visible, no one gave me permission to be visible. As a matter of fact, after it wasn't even a year of being publicly visible, people began to try and shut me up. An entire campaign was launched to try and bully me off the internet. That was in 2016, end of 2016. How'd that work out? I don't give a shit how it worked out for them. I'm going to keep going down my lane, minding my business, using my energy in the way I believe is most appropriate. Don't waste your time and energy on people who are nothing but distractions. That's like driving down the freeway and stopping every time an insignificant bug, and this is meant to be condescending, every time an insignificant bug slams against your windshield. Just keep going. That insignificant bug had absolutely no authority, no way was it going to stop your car, your Merkaba. There was no way. Unless, of course, you allow yourself to get convinced. You allow yourself to be convinced that someone has authority over you, that they're going to be able to strong arm you. You gonna allow that? You see, I don't use my dominant energy and dominant personality to try and dominate other people. But if you're going to throw yourself into my lane, I will pick you up by the scruff of your neck and toss you out. It's either that or run you over, your choice. Actually, you don't get a choice. It's my lane. I don't want your crud on my wheels. Sometimes you have to have that type of mindset of just like, no, absolutely not. Why not? Because no. You can do that somewhere else, just not here and not with me. That's what having authority over yourself looks like. So let us see the final set of cards. Okay. Your soul is confirming this. Softly, softly, the tender touch. All of that shit talking you do to yourself. I am suddenly super hot. Good God. That harsh way in which you communicate to yourself. No more. Get gentle with yourself. Get very, very gentle with yourself. And as you get gentle with yourself, have a big, bold vision of what you want to bring to fruition. The windows are opening. So on the 11th of August, Mercury retrograde ends. We'll still be in the shadow for, I think, like a week or so. I don't really follow all of this stuff. Don't look at me like I'm an authority on planetary astro topics. I'm astro illiterate. I'm just regurgitating the information. I learned this a few years ago. There's something about we're still in the shadow for about a week. So you have between now and then, to solidify what it is you want to do. What direction do you want to go in? Is there a project that you're wanting and have been thinking of doing? Is there something that you start and stop, start and stop, start and stop? When did Mercury retrograde start? When did it start? Let me see. Okay. So Mercury retrogrades. Mercury is in Kazimi on July 31st. Okay. It went retrograde July 17th. Ooh. So sometimes there's a lull. Okay, Mercury entered into pre-retrograde shadow on June 29th, and then it entered into retrograde July 17th. And then it went into Kazimi. I don't even know what Kazimi is. The fuck? I don't. And then it went back direct, or goes back direct on August 11th. And then it leaves its post-retrograde shadow August 25th. You have between now and August 25th to think about what it is you really want to do. I know I stopped writing my book around the end of June. I've kind of been trying ever so gingerly to write more chapters. I think I had to process whatever Mercury retrograde was bringing to the surface. So that's the thing. I think that's part of the message. Sometimes the things that you've stopped, it's really a prolonged pause in order for you to gain clarity on the direction that you're headed, on the project that you're working on. Allow what's happened during this extended retrograde period. And I think retrograde, I don't think it's been extended. I think that's a regular period. Retrogrades are long. It feels like it's been an extended period. Allow what happened, allow what stung you to serve as inspiration for you. Allow yourself to be inspired. I know all of the really difficult things that have been taking place since June in my life personally has served as inspiration for quite a few different processes. Quite a few different processes. This one feels particularly long. All of them feel long to me. But yeah, I didn't even realize we were still in retrograde. I get it. Maybe it feels particularly long because we're actually becoming fully present through the process. Sometimes when you're not fully present, when you're preoccupied, it seems like time passes quickly. But when you're fully present, you become aware. For some people, you become aware of every second that ticks past. Maybe it's something like that. Regardless, what you need is already with you. What is already with you? what you need, the skill set, the understanding, the vision. It's already with you. And maybe all that needs to happen is a little refinement of what it is. Like I found out that someone that I really respect is a is a graphic designer. And I was talking to them about my logo that I made myself. I'm not a graphic designer. I made the logo myself just because I needed a logo. And then I was talking to them how I would like a logo professionally made, but I don't want to just work with anyone. And because I have tremendous respect for them, I was like, oh, well, maybe I can commission them to make my logo. And then they told me like they like my logo. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, the concept of it, they like it. And I was like, huh. And then they were like, maybe I can just refine it. Yeah. Maybe you don't need to completely change everything. Maybe you just need to refine a little bit of this and a little bit of that, your understanding, your awareness, your flow through your process. Maybe that's just what needs to be refined just a little bit so it can flow easier. So you can do more, achieve more. And wait, okay. Something clicked. I thought I took out the electric. No, it's still working. Ah, mm. Some people might be like, oh, don't teach people to never be satisfied. It has nothing to do about not being satisfied. It has everything to do with not allowing complacency, stagnation. I'm always pushing, pushing, learning, pushing, learn. You know, that's my cycle. Learning, pushing, learning something new and implementing it, applying it to my life, to my journey in real time. Does that make me superior? No, it just makes me a little bit more efficient. It makes me more effective. But doesn't that mean you're never satisfied? People who have witnessed my personal private life know I live a really beautiful life. I'm not talking about riches and things like that. No, my home is filled with peace. It's a very chill space. It's full of love, full of laughter, full of community. Just because I'm driven doesn't mean I'm dissatisfied, doesn't mean I'm ungrateful. You can be grateful and driven. But I mean, like, what are you driving towards? My purpose. My purpose. What happens next will blow your mind. That's the title, right? What would you say? What would you think? How would you receive it if I said to you, what I'm doing right now, my private sessions, my academy, my live streams, this is practice for what I'm actually going to do. I know that. I know that. Hi, Annie. So what does that mean? What I'm doing right now, it's a big deal to me right now. But what I'll be doing next will make what's happening right now seem so small. I think the same applies for all of you. You know, if you look at where you're at right now, and then you look at where you were 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, what you're doing right now is what you dreamed of hopefully one day doing back then. That's what you dreamed of. And now you're doing it. And you're good at it. You're good at it. So then what needs to happen? You need to recognize this cycle is going to repeat. You are going to be flung into different spaces so that you could fill different purpose. Like, because this life's not enough for you? No. Because it's now time for the next part. It's time for the next part. You're bringing it into form. You're bringing it into form. And in order to facilitate that, you need to allow yourself to have the conscious connections. So for some of you, it circles right back to the beginning of this conversation. There is something or someone from your past that's going to be circling back around, and that needs to be revisited. Be careful about assuming what needs to be revisited is nothing but a sexual connection, a romantic relationship that failed. Not true. It could be anything. Open yourself to the potentiality of what your soul is attempting to potentiate. Your soul is working so hard. He's not even getting paid overtime. Just like, give him a break. I'm serious. Give him a break. Like, kind of get on board for a little bit. So, guys, I do have an event coming up. It's a comfort care event. This is a virtual meditation. It's not going to be broadcast anywhere public. It's on my private servers. With a comfort care event, this is a specialized energy work, etheric quantum medicine session. As a group, we're going to be working on chronic pain and dense emotions. So for those of you who don't know, I have the capacity to reprogram, repattern the standing scalar waves, access the morphogenetic template down to core codes. And when I do that, I can help with pain. I can help with emotional disturbance, with all sorts of different things. I can even help with physicality. Yes. So with a comfort care event, that's where I do a recorded. It's live, but it's also recorded. So you can rewatch it afterwards as many times as you want. And every time you rewatch this comfort care event, I'm working on you again. So if you struggle with chronic pain, if you struggle with all of these different things, I've had plenty of people who have been heavily struggling with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, all sorts of different emotional disturbances. And we work together. They resolve those things. I'm simply facilitating. They resolve those things, and they're no longer needing their prescriptions. That's not me telling them to get off prescription. You better talk to your doctor first. You don't just stop it, okay? You got to talk to your doctor. But I can facilitate the cessation of those types of things. This comfort care event is something that can help you to determine whether you want to work with me privately using etheric quantum medicine. That's one of my most highly developed subspecialties. Another thing that I have going on for those who have been asking about how they can possibly sign up for my certification program, I teach people how to do the energy work that I do. I was never taught. I came into this life knowing how to do this. Literally, I've always been this way since I was a kid. No awakening, none of that. I'm teaching the Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop. This workshop is the prerequisite for my certification program. So there's now an application that's available on my K33 website. You can click on the QR code or the link in the comment for all other platforms except for TikTok. TikTok, all the things I'm talking about right now, you can find it through the link in my bio. And then, was there something else? Hold on. Oh, I'm actually going to get going now because I need to get to my sanctuary. For those who want to be part of my community, this community is a congregation. I'm sitting president and senior pastor for a faith-based organization. And we have weekly conversations that are private. It's not broadcast anywhere. And it's not just a live stream like this. We're actually conversing. You can stay in the comments if you want, or you can hop onto the Zoom room, which is broadcast into the congregation space. You can come onto the Zoom room and speak or be on video, whatever you like, whatever you like. But this is a very sacred space where you feel safe enough to process some of the things that are happening. It's not a therapy space. It's not a trauma dump space. It's a sacred space full of people who understand the type of struggles that you're going through. It's a space where you can finally no longer feel alone. So I'm going to be heading over to the sanctuary in a couple minutes. I got to get going, guys. Please, on all other platforms, give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. For those on TikTok, you can follow me if you want to find a way to find me again. It's not hard to find me. I'm evolving. Actually, it is hard to find me. I don't know how many fake accounts of me. I will never message you and say you want anything or offer you anything, and I will never try and force you or solicit a session from you. The only way to get a session from me is to go on my website, mevolving.com, and purchase it there, or join me for expedites. I got to get going. Love you guys. I'll see you again very soon.